Hey everybody, and welcome back to Let's Play Skies of Arcadia Revisited. I'm Nye, and you might notice that we are near Sailor's Island, because we're going to do some last-minute, loose-end tidying up before we head off into the next section of the game. So the first thing we want to do is we want to talk to Doc here, because we've got a bunch of Moonfish. I think we have something like 4 to 6 Moonfish that need to be turned into him, and the items we get to him, this is the last time I'm going to be able to talk to Doc for a while, so I want to make sure that I'm able to get rid of these Moonfish, because the rewards he gives us tend to be leveled for about the time that you would have picked up those Moonfish if you picked all of them up in the exact order you're supposed to. And so I want to make sure I get all the items pretty much in the order I'm supposed to. So we're going to do that now. So let's let this thing vomit its cannonballs at us. And the first thing we're going to get is the female armor, which is a pretty good armor set for Athena or Aka. Good stuff there. So let's keep on feeding our birds. Yeah, it's going to be the last time I'm going to be able to see Doc for quite a while. It's going to be probably 6 or 7 episodes until I'm able to get back into this particular area. So any Moonfish we get from here on out are kind of, sort of null and void until I'm able to get back here. And then, they're just going to sort of sit in our inventory. I'm still going to pick them up, but we also received the white map, which is an amazing, fantastic item that I'm not going to use all that much, to be completely honest. What it does is it lowers the encounter rate of the game, so that way you don't fight as many people. And this is actually pretty nice in a lot of ways, especially if you're going to be going discovery hunting, which is actually probably the only time I'm going to use it. It doesn't take it to 0, it just reduces it by a fair amount. I mean, you've seen the encounter rate. I'm encountering guys quite a lot. But it lowers the encounter rate for you. But that also means you get less money, and you also get less, money and less experience, which is not necessarily a good thing. That one got us 30 Romuhai fish and 30 gruel. We're going to need the gruel in the future. So that's definitely a good trade. Still got, I think I should have maybe 1 more Moonfish left over. So we're going to go ahead and trade that in here. Just waiting patiently. So we got our next transformation here. And now he's big and fat, and if I remember correctly, his head puff curls a little bit. So now he's done that, now he's going to hiccup, he's going to give us his cannonball once more. Very important, of course. So inside of the hairball, we find a warrior's heart, which is another really fantastic accessory that I'll probably be using quite a lot. Let's take a look at it. And that female armor, of course. It's something we definitely want to take a look at as well. And there we go. So we don't get a cutscene with Doc this time, which is fine by me. Now, who needs female armor more, Aka or Fina? I believe Fina got the last bit of armor. I think I'm just going to use that for Aka. That's fine by me. And then let's go ahead and look at Vice and take a look to see what this warrior's heart is like. So, allows the user to recover spirit during battle. Oh, right, that one. That one goes directly to Fina. There's not a lot of things that she gets that are really good for her, but if I remember correctly, Warrior's Heart allows you to, it's like double SP when you focus. So that's something we definitely want to get. We're going to take a quick jaunt back here to Sailor's Island. There's no more to really do here in terms of storyline for the time being. We've gotten almost all of it. But what I definitely want to do is I want to run over here to the Guildmaster here, and I want to turn in Gordo the Round, which I haven't done yet, so he's going to give us something. Defeated our bounty, and we receive 4,000 gold for defeating Gordo the Round. I have discoveries, there we go, that I want to sell to him, so let's sell all of this. You'll notice that I'm getting a lot of money for all of this, which is absolutely fantastic. I'm going to be swimming in the stuff for a while, and if you go to the buy info, you'll notice that we don't have anything to buy, which is awesome. On our wanted list, Loose Cannon Lapin and the Ixanes Demons are both in the list. Let's go see if that's something we're actually able to go take care of. I can't remember. Sometimes there's, bounties that you can't actually do until later on because you just don't have the prerequisites. Before we do that, we're going to go in here. I'm going to spend more money on, items because now I am actually, I'm at the point where I want to use them more than I want to use normal stuff. Everybody is in awe of the fact that they get to meet us. We're going to buy a lot of magic droplets because we're low on those. Probably buy a lot of Curia crystals because I don't want to spend MP on Curia at all. And I'm not going to bother with the Sacred crystal. Later on, the shops in the Sailor's Island will refresh and they'll have a new and better list of stuff that I can buy from them. But for the time being, looks like they do not have that. Let's see, let's go over here. And, okay, so Lapin isn't here. He would typically be standing right about in this spot right here. So he is not an option. And I have to assume that the Ixanes Demons are not as well. I'm going to do something now that I typically don't do, but mostly because it's going to save me some money. I am going to go and sleep at the inn real quick. Mostly so that way I don't have to spend any of the items I just bought in order to heal myself. It'll save me some time. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and save, because we are right next to a save point. And then we're going to go do the other thing I came back here to do, which is that we're going to go and investigate the black spot. I said earlier when we first got it that I would not be investigating it for a while, but now is a very good time to go do it. Does the mystery merchant have anything worth a damn? Typically no, but nope. I mean, the Slayer ring would be decent for Fina, but that's because she has a ring that does not give any stat increases. But yep, he is still worthless. That's fine. And I'm not going to bother touching the weapon shop because I know that it's not good. Okay, so we're good. We're done Sailor's Island. I bought a bunch of stuff. I got a bunch of money. All of that's fantastic. So we're going to turn to our ship. And from here, we're going to sail straight west for a while to find a very specific spot on the map. So let's go do that. And this is going to be probably going to be a lot of little sub-battles here. Unfortunately, I can't stop that. Fish. See that ship out there? The lonely one? That one? The one with the purple sail? That's the one we want. Let's go talk to it. It's very, very colorful for the person who lives on this boat. So we're here for the black spot. This is the person that put that out and called Vice here. Camera zooms out and we see our new person. She's talking about he's a popular air pirate. Everybody knows about him, but she cannot sit idly while air pirates fly the skies freely and do as they please. That is a hell of a set of armor. Some of it which does not look too protective. This is Piastol. She's a bounty hunter, and she specializes in finishing off air pirates. She's feared amongst even the most hardened air pirates, and they have dubbed her the Angel of Death. And the angel has come for Vice. Vice is kind of curious about this, actually. He's kind of proud. He's so famous that real bounty hunters are coming after him. And Aka's like, it's not a good thing that bounty hunters called the Angel of Death are coming after you. Piastol comments he's confident, perhaps he's as strong as people say, and she supposes that's why he's been able to stand toe-to-toe with Valua. But he's still just an air pirate, and she's going to send us and our mangy crew to the bottom of the clouds. And it's time for a fight. So this is going to be the first of many Piastol fights, and they all follow the same general principle. Piastol will engage you, and she has her pet dog with her. And it's generally a fight. It can be a bit irritating sometimes. The dog is generally pretty. Actually, I've changed my mind about that. You're gonna land, or you're going to Delta Shield. You are going to focus. No. You're gonna Glyph of Might yourself, and you're gonna Glyph of Might yourself. I just want to make sure that Aka is always Delta Shielding because that's basically what she does in any given boss fight. So, Piastol is the major fighter here, and her big attack is this right here, Tempest Dance, which does a fair amount of damage. As you can see, that's half of Vice's health all in one go. Keep in mind, Vice did not have his Glyph of Might up, so it's going to be a lot less now. But every time you fight Piastol, her Tempest Dance grows in complexity. She adds some new moves to it, and it will deal more and more damage. Now, typically, by the time you fight her again, you'll have leveled up to a point where you can, again, engage that and counter the Tempest Dance. And you'll have better defenses and things like that. I'm kind of fighting her. I'm not fighting her early, because I could have fought her a lot earlier, and I chose not to. But I'm fighting her now because I have the skills I need to actually do good stuff against her. So the first thing we want to do is we want to get rid of the dog, because that dog is a problem in general. Aka needs that. The dog has a couple of attacks that it does. It's mostly a magic user. It does a lot of obnoxious magic damage. Especially stuff like poison. It uses Noxus a lot. And that'll just give you some problems. So I want to take out the dog first, but it's also because it's the weakest of the two. And we're just flat out able to take it out. So I want to get that done, so that way she just doesn't have that extra fighter on her side. And that took him almost all the way out. Vice did about 3,000 damage with his attack there. So that's good stuff. And that'll take him out right now. Another 1,200 damage, and we're good to go. So that's done. So now we're just going to focus on Piastol herself. And Fina's just going to focus, and then Vice and Rhaknam are just going to go and all-out attack Piastol. And we shouldn't have too much trouble here. I could have had issues if she had actually focused Vice, because I have not actually healed Vice since he got hit by the Tempest Dance she did last. I just kind of got a little bit lucky, which I should not have been counting on and should not count on in the future. Luckily, the fight's basically almost done. Piastol herself does have a lot of health. I think she has something to the tune of 10,000 health. But by using Vice's Cutlass Fury every turn, and we don't necessarily have to Delta Shield, but I'm definitely going to Delta Shield. And then also using Tackle, we should be able to do a fair amount of damage to her and take her out in a very short period of time. Eternity is why I am still using Delta Shield every turn. She does have the instant kill spell available to her, and she will actually upgrade that as time moves on to be even more powerful. That's why Delta Shield's so important. So we definitely want to make sure she never gets a chance to drop that, because if she takes someone out, especially someone important like, say, Vice, it might be impossible to get them back. But she's almost gone. So at this point, it's just... the question is she going to hit me with something I'm not going to like, or am I going to win? We're going to use Lunar Glyph for a little bit of extra damage, and we're going to hope that I'm able to get all my attacks off before she does. No, she's Tempest Dancing. I think this is going to be Fina going down. Yep, that's definitely going to kill Fina. You notice the music changed just like that, because I lost one person. So even though I'm winning so well against her, and I think I'm probably going to win this turn, but even though I'm beating the crap out of her, yep, down she goes. I did lose Fina, so one character down means bad music. How can this be? So that's that. Unfortunately, Fina's not going to be getting any of the bonuses from this. She's not going to be getting any experience or magic, which sucks because that was a lot of each. But I'll catch her up sooner or later. So now we get another cutscene where she's beaten. Curious, how could it be? How could she lose to a lowly air pirate? Vice is, sorry, but he's a tad too young to die. She could come back in 50 or 60 years, and he might be ready to die then. But in the meantime, we're just going to continue sailing, and it's time for her to get back to her own ship. So, you know, just condescending, just a little bit. Piastol's kind of upset about this. And she looks up and actually looks at his face for once and notices something. The scar, the one on his cheek, and the goggle he's wearing the entire freaking time. She said she'd recognize him anywhere. It's him. But she said she's known across the skies as the Angel of Death, and she swears upon that cursed name that she will hunt him down and finish him off. She will find him again, and their deaths she shall bring. Until then, she'll let us live. However, the next time they meet, it'll be the end of him. You know, so, and then Vice just leaves her alive, you know, after all that, because he's a nice guy. So that was Piastol Fight 1. Not the hardest thing. I mean, it's absolutely right, I did lose Fina. And actually, the reason I lost Fina has a lot to do with the fact that I did not use a speed glyph, and I really should have. If I had been moving faster than she was, I actually would have killed her before Fina got killed. So, I gotta remember to do that in the future. So that's done. We're gonna go ahead and fly back to Sailor's Island. I just want to see if there's another black spot waiting for me, because you will get them, you know, as soon as you reach the minimum, I believe it's linked to Moonfish amounts, and as soon as you get the minimum Moonfish, and if you do not currently have a black spot, you'll have another black spot delivered to you. Okay, so we'll just talk to him, now we leave, and nope, no black spot. Okay. Well, I'm going to pause for a second here, guys, because I have to get back to where we were, and that's going to take me about 10 minutes or so. So I'm actually going to skip directly to that. We're not going to fast forward through because it's going to take a while. And I will see you guys in a few minutes when we actually get that done. And I'll catch you again when we reach Valua. So we are finally here. Let's sort of make our way into Valua. There's a couple things we need to do here. Okay, there's a lot of things we need to do here. It's not just a couple. But we're just going to sort of make our way into Valua to begin with. So we're kind of, if you look at our map, Valua's kind of in two halves. There's the bottom half, which has the actual city of Valua, like the Valuan capital right there. And then there's the top half, which is where we are. We're kind of behind the city right now. We want to explore a little bit around. I want to say it's this area. There's one other discovery we need to make. Okay, so we're searching around here. There's one more discovery we need to make before we can kind of move on and move into the next phase of the game. And it's right there. This is the Ancient Palace. A beautiful old castle that stands near a lake in central Valua. Local legends of evil wizards and mysterious disappearances were revived when various potions and torture devices were discovered in the dungeons beneath the castle. So it's actually over there. You can see exactly how far away the discovery limit is. You got quite a distance. Okay, so big thing just happened. If you look at Vice, and if you look at his magic, he just learned Incremus. It costs 16 SP, but it increases both the attack power and defense power of the entire party by 25%. Not incredibly helpful immediately, but later on, you know, I'll be able to use it a lot sooner. And by a lot sooner, I mean I'll be able to, you know, wait a turn or two before I go use it. Okay, so we're just exploring the back end of this area because we're looking for a very specific location, which should be right over here. You see these little Stonehenge-looking things? Okay, into Stonehenge we go. Right on over here. This is the Maw of TARDIS. There's a number of things we need to do here. First and foremost, we need to sort of fill out our map, because as we move along, every so often, you'll hear as if there's a cham in the area. There's no encounters here, so don't worry about it. You just gotta kind of search around for the chams. And instead of a cham, we find a chom. These things are kind of interesting. They don't actually increase, okay, we got a cutscene. This is the Maw of TARDIS. Rather elaborate seal we got going on here. Vice comments that chunk of metal is absolutely huge. And Athena says that beneath it is the Maw of TARDIS. It's an entrance to a series of caverns. These caverns are the resting place of the yellow crystal as well as the yellow gigas. This seal was built by her people after the rain's destruction in order to contain the yellow gigas. Now the gigas lies dormant. Rhaknam thinks they should keep that thing locked up, and Aka says this means that the gigas can't get out, but that also means that they can't get in. But Vice says that he doesn't think there's any way they can get into the seal, and wonders what they should do. And we get attacked. This is generally not a good thing. Valuan soldiers, they don't even know who we are, apparently. They just say that trespassing near the Great Seal means death, so we're going to have a quick combat. You can hear by the music the game doesn't even consider this to be an actual like boss fight combat. It's just a standard combat. I don't know why they did this. In order to show that maybe the Valua is actually actively in the area, that you shouldn't feel safe and comfortable here. But I mean, we're just north of the capital, so I would expect them to have a presence in the area. They do have fairly, they have decent attacks, but this is a, as soon as Vice gets Rain of Swords, the fight's going to be over. So I don't know what's up with this. They could have just done this as a cutscene. But whatever floats your boat, Get another grenade. That might actually take someone out. Possibility. Yep, there goes Fina again. Fina doesn't exactly have a lot of health right now. She'll get more later. Right now she goes down like kind of like a sack of potatoes, sack of bricks. So we're just gonna wait. Down goes Rhaknam. Or not Rhaknam, Rhaknam's opponent. There we go. Down goes the guy that Rhaknam wanted to kill. That's the way I'm gonna put that. I don't really mind Fina not getting the experience from here, because it's not exactly going to be a lot of it. It's a possibility that I should have taken this a little bit more seriously, but, what can I say? Rain of Swords. Surprisingly, that guy didn't die. That kind of amazes me, honestly. But he's going to go down now, so that's all there is to it. And the fight's already over. As I said, treated like a standard fight, not a boss fight. Some experience going. People level up, and that's about it. The Valuans are pleading for their lives, saying if they surrender, please don't kill them. Aiko wants to know how to open the seal, and they'll let them live. And the Valuan soldier says it's impossible. Their entire army couldn't open it. Their commanders aren't concerned with the yellow crystal right now because it's already in Valua and it's safe from us. So apparently they did know who we were. Drachma says that makes sense. They'll go after the other crystals first, the ones not already in their possession. Weiss thinks this area would be more heavily guarded and wonders where the rest of their men are, but they said they were preparing for the raid on Nasrad. Aka's kind of confused, saying that Valua is going to go start a war with Nasser, and the soldier says he's just a grunt. He doesn't know any of the details, we just think so. That there was some giant arc whale. It destroyed a few of their ships recently, and one of their admirals is hunting it. Drachma knows exactly what that means, and he wants to get information from this man, asking, if Rhaknam is here, quick, answer him. And the balloon soldier says he doesn't know for certain. Some fog rolled in, and there was sightings of a huge creature, which, you know what that means. It means it's probably still in the area. He turns to us and says that he has to go after Rhaknam. He's been following us on our quest, looking for the crystals all this time, but now it's their turn to follow him. And so you could say it's too dangerous, but that's not the swashbuckler option. We understand, we'll go with you. Doesn't look like we'll be able to get to the yellow crystal anytime soon, so we'll go with him. Now the time has come for him to finally face Rhaknam. He was the reason that he got to the harpoon cannon in the first place, and now he's going to kill him or die trying. Just, don't kill us on the way down. Okay, so now that's done, we can go and pick up the other Choms. So as I was saying, the Choms do something very specific. They make Cupel vomit up all of the chams that he has picked up so far. The reason why this is important is that Cupel doesn't have just a growth tree. Or a growth line. He actually has a growth tree. There's different ways that he will grow depending on exactly how you set him up. And there's the third and final Chom right there. So yeah, he actually has a set of growth, and it depends on how you feed him chams, and there's something called an Aberic cham that we'll be getting one of very soon, which is kind of like a super cham, and depending on what order you give him these, it'll change his growth. Now, the final form is always the same, but his standard growth, there's some different things he could be. So Drachma says we need to rest up before we attack Rhaknam. There's always a thick fog surrounding him. He knocks ships out of the sky, and they never see him coming. So the plan is to hide in this little crevice. He'll hide in this canyon and ambush him at the first sign of fog. Tonight we sleep here, drop anchor. Sounds like fun. I always love, waiting in a ship that's bobbing in the middle of the sky in a very thunderstormy area. Weiss says that later that night his heart was racing with excitement. He was too anxious to get even a wink of sleep. Rhaknam is nearby, and that's all he could think as he lay there trying to sleep. Well, that didn't work. Since it doesn't look like he's going to get any shut-eye, he should try to take a little walk to try to calm himself down. So we're in the engine room right now. Some areas we can explore that we couldn't before. Back here, you can find the lifeboats. Weiss will even talk about it. It's an emergency lifeboat. Always best to have some ready. You hearing us, Titanic? Always good to have lifeboats ready. And now we can continue exploring. Or I could. If we go here, this is where the girls are sleeping. That's where Aka and Fina uses their bedroom. And Aka saying that she swears she didn't steal anything. She's talking in her sleep again. You know them rogues. This is the captain's room. He doesn't hear him snoring. He must be awake, but he's not in there. So let's go up. There's that new engine of ours, the one that we stole from the Lynx. And upwards we go onto the deck. And out here, we get a cutscene. So here's the captain, kind of just sitting all by his lonesome, staring out into space. Weiss is curious what's going on, and Drachma notices who he is. He's a little less forceful in his speech now than he usually is. He wonders what he's doing up at this hour, says he should be getting some rest, kind of ignores that advice for himself. Weiss wants to say the same thing, and it's in the middle of the night. What are you doing here? And what's that box you have in your hand? There's a grunt from Drachma, that. And he wants us to open it. Well, we can do that. It's not too hard to open a box, right? No elaborate puzzle. Come on, look at it, Weiss. There we go. And inside is a bunch of feathers. Colored feathers. It's full of feathers. That's exactly right. Get the reminiscent music in the background. And Drachma comments that his son used to collect those. You used to have a son? Drachma says he would be about the same age as Weiss. A long time ago, he ran a fishing boat in North Ocean. His son was learning to be a sailor, and he used to come out with him. And his name, of course, was Jack. He was a small boy who liked to help out. The other sailors used to call him Little Jack, like the name of the boat. One day, they went out fishing as usual, and Rhaknam came. They didn't know how powerful he was, and they tried to fight him, But there was no way a fishing boat stood a chance against that thing. Rhaknam destroyed the ship, and Drachma barely managed to survive. But his crew and Jack weren't so lucky. Last time he saw Jack, he was clutching some feathers as he fell, like they'd stop him from falling. So he fell into deep sky. There's no surviving that. He can still hear his son scream as he fell. From that day on, he swore revenge on Rhaknam for his crew and for Jack. He needed to kill Rhaknam to avenge his crew and his son. You know how well that's going on so far. He's getting long-winded in his old age, and don't let it bother him. It's Drachma's problem. And Vice is about to say something, warm and heartfelt, when all of a sudden, the fog starts. Drachma's immediately jumping into action, saying, "Go wake the others." Rhaknam is here. And that is absolutely true. Rhaknam is here. He is somewhere in this area, and we have to go find him. Unfortunately, it does take some time to find him. You have to go searching throughout the area, and you can only go in a certain direction. And because it takes time, we're going to have to wait till next time. I'll see you guys soon.